Let me just first say welcome and thank you for being here. I'm super geeked out, excited about this today for so many reasons. So, first off, a little context of like what this is. So, 2 Thursdays a month at 1 o'clock EST, I meet with a group of women who are in the Revolutionary Woman community. And this is basically sort of like my signature coaching program for women. You have zero obligation to join this community. You have zero obligation to do anything after today. But quarterly, we have one of the amazing women in the community present. Yeah, girl. I see Kalika showing off the books. Stop it. Present in the community and just kind of share their expertise, right? And when we do that quarterly event, we open it up to many other women so that we can all learn from one another and all the things. Hi, Lisa. I see you, girl. Hi, Katie. Hi, Angela. Everybody's here. Okay. So that is what this is. The program, the quarterly thing. So today we are featuring Kalika. Kalika, hi. Somebody out here.
Hi.
So just to get a little bit of an introduction. So Kalika is so many things. Like I'm actually really excited to introduce her because, so I'll just tell the story of how we met. So she sort of dropped into my DMs. She was like COO of a startup, and this startup kind of did programs for coaches. So I think she was sort of looking at talking to me as me being a potential client. And then she ended up purchasing my book and then blazed through it like a gangster. Hey, and we ended up vibing so hard that she ended up becoming a client of mine. She ended up coaching with me for 6 months, decided to like go all in on her dreams and her desires and her purpose. And so now she has quit her super serious job and has created her entrepreneurial amazeballness, where she helps entrepreneurs, solopreneurs like me to really increase their impact. She's like a little marketing Jedi, a little strategy Jedi. She's got ops for days. The ways that she has helped me personally are not only just being an amazing human who has great energy and like holds space like a gangster. So I've had some very like sad, low moments where she's like my career therapist. It's been beautiful. But also, she helped me come up with the idea for this. I, back in the day, had a Revolutionary Woman Mastermind. It was sort of like fits and starts, and I got kind of, I just didn't continue it and we stopped. And we discussed one of my pain points was I'm coaching, and it does feel like I am at a desk all day doing, like, I need help to like free up my schedule and like not feel as locked in. And she helped me come up with this beautiful community that supports my clients, has women connecting with each other, and then gave me what I need, which was more time back, right? So I could speak and hang out with my kids and do all the things I want to do. So that is a big way that she has changed my life. She's also a freaking AI genius. Hi, Sharon. How's it going? Hi, Marsha. Oh, hello. It's so fun. Everybody's here.
Hi.
So some of the ways that she's helped me with AI are, right, so I've really taken this big turn towards speaking, and part of that is learning how to connect with people on LinkedIn who book speakers. So she learned about a really cool AI tool who will manually connect for me to a specific type of person on LinkedIn. So when I started using this tool, or when Kalika like set it up for me, I think I had like 2,500 followers on LinkedIn. And I don't lift a finger and I don't even look at it. And I now have like 3,600. So it's this feeling of like things are growing in the direction I want them to go, and I don't have to do more, right? So like I'm literally in the middle right now of like finishing writing my second TEDx talk, which I'm super excited about doing. It's on April 12th, all the things. And it really is about, first, it was supposed to be about closing the gender pay gap through entrepreneurship. And then I realized entrepreneurship is a lovely prescription, but similar to like when you go to the doctor, you don't want to just treat the symptom of the problem. You want to like heal the issue. And I feel like the pay gap is a symptom of the fact that our culture skews towards valuing the masculine in many different ways, right? Not just like financially how much they'll pay them, but the way men like to work versus the way women like to work, right? The way men lead versus the way women lead. And so this has kind of become like a whole thing right now where I am almost looking at AI as like a way where we could potentially balance things out, where I get to be in the feminine. I get to like be doing my life the way I want to do my life. I get to have time on my schedule and not be like, go, 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 do, do, do. and it's still growing for me because AI is sort of relieving me a little bit of that masculine push will energy. So that's where things are. Just wanted to give Kalika like a little, not only how we met, but also like how she's really supported me strategically through tech to build and grow in the ways that are making an incredible impact in my life. And so I'm really excited to share her with you today. She's incredible. And with no further ado, Kalika, baby, take it away.
Oh my gosh. Wow, that was quite the introduction. I feel like I might start crying, so thank you so much. I do want to give a very special shout out. I keep this book on hand at all times because it truly was a catalyst to me changing my entire life. So thank you for that, Shireen, and thank you for including me here in this community. It continues to fuel me. I will say one thing about the community that's incredible is as executive women, as some of you may be entrepreneurs, being in the grind is like where we live, right? It's like we end up being in the grind all the time. So having that hour every 2 weeks that is already on my schedule, that is carved out for me, that I'm committed to, participating in is so impactful because it's like, it's just that self-love, that self-compassion, that thing that we're all striving towards. So thank you for being here today, and thank you for including me in this amazing community. Let's get this party started. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and I'm going to do a little, might need you to enable me there, Shirini. All right, so I'm going to jump right in here to a quick presentation. Can you guys all see this okay? Give me a thumbs up if you can. Awesome. All right, so today we're going to talk a little bit about AI. I will say it's a topic that I'm very passionate about. I am not a computer scientist, I'll be honest with you. I'm not even really what I would consider an expert on the topic, but I have had a tremendous opportunity to really immerse myself in the world of these emerging AI tools over the last 18 months. And I feel like, truth bomb, whether you're ready to hear it or not, AI will absolutely radically change the way that we work. And I do believe it's going to change the way that we live as well. So if anyone's out there questioning that, I think the comparison I would draw is like back in the mid 70s, early 80s, when the cell phone came out, right? And there were these giant bricks that were really cumbersome, and people were like, this isn't going to change much. Well, fast forward to where we are today. Cell phones have changed so many things. If you really think about it, they've changed the way we work, for sure. They've changed the way we connect with people. Think about like dating apps and the way we communicate. There's just so many changes that have propagated as a culture and as society from the invention of the cell phone, right? So it's kind of wild. The reason I bring that up is because I think the potential of AI is even more radical than that of, the old bricks that they came out with in the mid 70s. So talking about that, Shireen and I have been talking, as she stated. So we know AI has tremendous potential to change. We know it has potential to shift things like the gender pay gap if we wield it intentionally, right? So one thing I was going to mention to you all is that this is an opportunity. This is like a golden era. Now, the point with that is that we want to inspire you, right?
Hi,
So
Santana say I was
inspire you,
cousin
and I guess I'll just quickly say I'm Kalika. You already heard about me, so I won't spend much time on this, but I'm an operations and strategy consultant with a forte in digital marketing. AI tool implementation is a huge part of what I do in my consultative services for women-owned businesses. So today we're going to discuss AI in a way that will hopefully inspire you and turn the current culture surrounding AI on its head. The presentation is going to be super short because I do want to give you a bunch of resources that I hope will be powerful and a quick demonstration at the end. So let's do this. First question for you is, if you don't mind dropping a thumbs up or popping a thumbs up on your screen or dropping a thumbs up in the chat, have you tried it? Even if it was only once, I want to see who out there has actually tried any of the tools. Got a thumbs up from Sharini. I know you've tried it.
Yep. Ramona said she's tried ChatGPT.
ChatGPT. Let them trickle in.
All the thumbs up.
Nice. Good. I'm so glad to see that. So if you've tried it, you may have had an experience like this, which is the experience that I had when I tried ChatGPT for the first time. I was like, okay, the responses are vanilla at best. Wasn't getting what I needed. And I was sort of like, what is all the hype about with this thing? Right? Well, let's zoom out just a little bit and talk about what AI actually is and how you can wield it in a more effective way. So in a nutshell, it's high-powered computer programming, right? It's designed to solve problems like humans. So with ChatGPT, since that's probably the one most people are familiar with, ChatGPT actually is a language-based learning model. So again, it's all a bunch of computer programming, but it leverages something called RLHF, which stands for Reinforcement Learning from Human Feedback. So the point in that is that the power of these AI tools lies in the frequency. So how often you're using it, connecting with it, implementing it, and the prompts in this case, right? With a lot of the language-based models, what you put in is going to determine how powerful your output is. So all that to say, another little plug to hopefully inspire you is like, the more you use it, the better it gets, right? So if you've had that experience of the lady who's rolling her eyes and was like, this is not that great, trust us when we say the more you use it, the better it gets. I could spend hours talking about how to further optimize your ChatGPT using prompts, but I will not bore you with that today. So what is the actual point here, right? The real point is contrary to everything you're seeing out there about AI. And I'm sure if you've seen anything around AI, it probably looks something like these, right? More work, less time. Do more in less time with AI. Do this thing in 30 seconds and get results and blah, blah, blah. So I did a quick Google search and all the messaging around AI tools was related to this, right? Which to me, it kind of makes me want to vomit because it's like, okay, hustle culture, great. More fuel for hustle culture. Just what we need, right? Especially as women. Sure, just keep piling shit on our plate. Well, what we're going to talk about today is we're on the precipice with AI, right? It's undeniable. It's going to change everything. Again, if we think about the example with the cell phone, we're in for some radical changes ahead. But rather than being terrified or avoiding or assuming that it'll be slow to propagate, we want to empower you to wield AI to get more life, right? AI will save you time. There is no denying that AI tools are going to save you a shit ton of time if you use them correctly. But what if instead of filling that gap of time with more work or more productivity or more meetings, what if you filled that time with things that actually fill your cup, right? What if you wield AI to give yourself more life, to give yourself more joy, and to be more present, right? Like that's what Shireen mentioned in the beginning. We did a bunch of things together, got her some time back, and then she's able to repurpose it to spend more time with her kids. That's what this conversation is about today. So here's my cliche image of this woman who is empowered because she's using AI tools with intention to get more life. Real quick caveat, I do just want to drive this point home, ladies, if you're still on the fence about jumping into the AI tool game. A study by Pew Research collected data just last year and indicated that only 23% of women who were surveyed across multiple ethnicities, education levels, and income brackets were regularly using AI. And that's compared to 32% of their male counterparts. So again, hopefully just to inspire you, like we gotta grab the bull by the horns and use the tools to our advantage. And with that, of course, we're gonna talk about how. Where do we go from here, right? You're all like, okay, I know I should probably be experimenting and learning and asking more questions, but I don't know where to start. Well, one truth is that each of you, your lives, your needs, your jobs, your commitments, you're like a snowflake, right? So this is very individualized to a degree. Like what tools can help you? Well, guess what? Now there's about 13,000 of them available. So I wanted to design something that would help you narrow down on what areas of your life these tools will be most impactful and what tools specifically you should start trialing. Okay, so there's a quick little process that we'll talk about that will demonstrate how you can use AI to create more joy and get more traction and have more life. So the 3 steps. Number 1, you're going to want to introspect. What are all the tasks you're doing, right, on a weekly basis? Good news here is I created a questionnaire for you to fill out that will just kind of help you see where you're at on things. The second step is you want to review, right? And part of that questionnaire is determining not only the tasks you're spending time on, but which of those tasks are kind of like sucking your energy or like draining you. Part of the review process is identifying the areas where you're spending a ton of time and you're feeling a lot of drain or a lot of strain, right? That's where a red flag goes up and it's like, get me a tool over here right away, because that's where you're going to see the most benefit, right? And then step 3, there's a guide that goes along with the questionnaire that just has some links to some tools that you can check out, start trialing. Of course, you may already know this, but there is a YouTube rabbit hole for all of these things that you can explore as you're equipping yourself, which step 3 is equip with the knowledge you need to really embrace this opportunity. So let's talk a little bit more about that, right? The goal with this isn't like, hey, we're going to give you these AI tools so that you can open up more hours to fill more things on your calendar. It's actually the opposite, right? Because if we actually want to close the gender pay gap and ascend and take on our full goddess energy, we have to find more balance, right? So I look at this as AI tools are a way to get us there. And that's where we're headed. So resources, as I mentioned, will all be available for you. The questionnaire, and I'm actually going to stop my share here. I guess I actually want to bear with me for a second. Do this instead. So just a quick overview. I won't take too much more time because I want to open it up for questions and do a quick demo for you. But task and energy questionnaire, it's not that long. The goal is to get through this. And then the review process is you go back up and you see all the places that you were a 5 and a 5. That's where you start, right? From there, you can look at the guide, which is linked at the bottom. And it's going to tell you if the areas that you're a 5 and a 5 are meetings, then here's some tools for you to start checking out, right? It's that simple. Both of those, like I said, will be available to you. And then I did want to share an example. So I know most of you gave some thumbs up. You've probably experimented with many different tools or maybe just ChatGPT. I recently stumbled upon something that I think is fantastic. It's called Gemini. So I don't know if any of you are familiar with Gemini, but it's essentially Google's answer to ChatGPT. So it is a language-based learning model, but it is, in my opinion, much more robust in the fact that, number 1, it is connected to the internet. So if you've experimented with ChatGPT, you may know that one of its main limitations is that the data that was programmed into it ends on September of 2021. So it's kind of limited on like its knowledge around recent things, recent events, trends. So when you're trying to use it for things like research or corroboration, it's not great. Gemini is connected to the internet, so it can tell you what the news is today. What's the weather in Ethiopia, right? Like it is more tied in. Of course, you still always want to fact check because that is another limitation of AI on a broad spectrum. But in Gemini, you can do things with video. You can do things with images. You can do things with programming. You can do really anything your heart desires. But to take it a step further, it syncs with your Google Workspace. So for instance, we can go into Gemini and ask it to show me the 3 most urgent emails from the last 12 hours. Type in your prompt, boom, pops up. Here's your emails. If you need to or want to click on it, it'll pop you right into your inbox, right? Oh, that's a receipt. Next is Google Docs. It links to your Google Docs. So you can ask it questions regarding specific documents in your Google Drive. It'll pull them up for you. News, you can ask it about like I said, the weather, the score, the most trending news articles of the day. It does sync with YouTube. So you can, if you tag YouTube, you can ask it for and then once it generates its information, the other power here is that you can share this information, right? So boom, if you pop down here to share and export, you can export it to a doc or you can export it in an email. So it'll put this all into an email for you. So for instance, if you're trying to equip someone on your team with some information, you can search in Gemini and then pop it right into an email, which is absolutely fantastic. But then the final thing I wanted to share with you is this. I'm going to do a live demo here. So meeting notes. I am over here in my Google Doc. I'm going to click on meeting notes. I'm going to click on today's meeting. Everyone who RSVP'd, your email is right here, right? So what I'm going to do is I am going to grab this link and I always spelled that word wrong. I don't know about anyone else, but I can put the link in right here for the questionnaire, for the guide, and I could put some action items. And then I can send it to y'all. It's gonna create a draft, and just like that, it's ready to rock. I can click send, couple clicks of a button, super easy, super powerful. The other nice part of Gemini is that you can use it to help you write things in your Google Docs. So I know a lot of you are doing things like standard operating procedures. And just like that, it creates it right in a document. You can send it out in an email, you can save it, you can share it, and voila, there it is. One quick demonstration for you on the power of this newish tool called Gemini. But the possibilities are crazy when you really start to look at all the tools that are available. This is a very, very tiny sliver. These are ones that I've actually vetted and had some experience with. You know, there's so many more that I either haven't experienced or don't necessarily think make the cut. But my hope for you is that this is a good jumping off point. And last but not least, if you go through the questionnaire and you review the resources, but you're still left feeling like overwhelmed, not sure, not clear on what your next step should be to actually integrate these tools into your life, you can book a call with me. I'm going to do a free consultation for anyone who wants to talk more specific to either your role at your job or your personal endeavors and how you can wield these tools for good in your life and the lives of others. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. AI is helping us celebrate right now. Amazing. Thank you for that. Oh my God, that was so good. And so, okay, so if you guys have any questions, okay, so Kalika, will you put the link? Oh, are you emailing it out with your Google Gemini?
Yes, I will email it out, but I'll also pop it in the chat in case anyone
Okay.
prefers that method.
Yes.
Let
All
me
the
go
things.
do that. And then yeah, I'm down to answer any specific questions if anyone
Okay.
wants to chime in.
Yes.
I had a question.
Yeah.
This was great. Thank you so much. So like when you just did a very top level, like show me my most important emails. And I was like, well, how does it know what's important to me? So like, how do you help it understand what's important to you?
That is a fantastic question, Lisa. So, as I mentioned, it's all language learning, right? That's happening. So I always coach people that the best thing you can do is treat it like it's a brand new employee that is starting to work for you. So I always advise people when you're starting to use a new AI tool, you almost want to carve out like a 30-minute onboarding with it where you take it through your mission, vision, values, your core beliefs, your goals for Q2, your ideal client, like all of the information that a employee would need if they were starting to work for you and you wanted them to be successful. So when you're talking about your email inbox, you definitely want to prompt it and coach it so it knows how to rank that importance. So just like if you were hiring an administrative assistant and having them look at your inbox each day and forward you like, hey, there's 3 things that came in that you need to pay attention to. The same way you would coach that employee is how you want to coach your Gemini or ChatGPT or whatever AI assistant is that you're using.
Awesome. Thank you.
Sure. Good question.
Yeah. Any other questions? Feel free to use this time.
I was like, can I just follow up on that? First of all, Kalika, it was amazing. That like I don't like my brain needs tangible things, and I know AI can do so much, but I like dabbled and then I'm super overwhelmed. Like I don't know which one to use and which one's trash and which one's good. And like I really appreciate real tangible, like do this framework, think about it this way, use this tool because it's great. So like that one, thanks for like philosophically the opportunity, but also like real tangible tools that we can all walk away with and like sharing your expertise. So just thank you for that. Following up on Lisa's question, like as you're saying that, I'm like, hey, yo, Gemini, what's up? I'm Katie. I'm or creating this business called Modern Zen. Like literally you just talk to it. I mean, tap and, and you just talk to it as you do ask a question. You can also state things the same as ask a question.
Yes. And I will say, quick caveat there. Another thing I love about Gemini is it has a microphone or a voice memo component. So if you're someone who doesn't want to spend the time to like, I'm going to type out this entire novel about my life and my job and whatever, you can talk to it. So it's kind of like the Tony Stark, like talking to his AI, in the Iron Man suit, where you can just have a conversation with it verbally now as well, because it's going to transcribe it. Now, you do want to pay attention to its quality of your transcription, because that's one place you can kind of go off the rails. But having a conversation with it is the best thing you can do, because as a language model, it's also going to learn your voice and tone from you prompting it. So Katie, as you embark on starting your own business, chances are likely that you're going to potentially leverage it for things like content creation, right? So having a dedicated channel where you talk to it often, even daily, it's going to be learning your voice and tone all the while, so that when you get to the point where you're like, hey, I need you to create captions in my voice and tone, it's going to be more accurate than if you were to just pop in right now and be like, caption this post for me, right?
Hi, Kalika. This is Brenda. First of all, congratulations. This was an excellent presentation. It's very, very informative. So thanks for sharing this. So I have used Chat GPT, and I have leveraged it heavily. But this is my first time learning about Gemini. So again, thank you for that. But does it pair with Microsoft products? I know you said it pairs with Google. Does it pair with Microsoft?
Yeah, great question. So Gemini is integrated with Google specifically. I do know that there is a Microsoft Assistant that they have been developing. I'll be honest, I don't have a ton of exposure to that, but I would imagine that it would be similar to the way Gemini works, because I think this is the direction it's all headed, to where it's more or less like one dashboard that you can kind of use. So let me actually look really quick. Yeah, so I believe it is being branded as Copilot. So I would imagine it's similar to Gemini in the fact that it'll integrate with your Microsoft Teams and your Microsoft Outlook calendar, Outlook, all of those things. So I would definitely encourage you, Brenda, to take a look at Copilot, potentially, you know, scope out some YouTube videos. And I appreciate you bringing it up, because that's definitely something I'm going to want to dive into as well.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Does anyone have any like specific goals or dreams they are aspiring to do? Write a book,
Start a business.
start a business, maybe even like if you are happy with your current career and you don't necessarily want to go side hustle consultancy, what are your dreams within your position, right? Like, are you trying to figure out how to have your team utilize AI? Yeah, I would love to hear that in the chat.
Yeah,
so that
that's
we can-
actually a really interesting, like it got me thinking, Shireen, where I have a day, you know, I have a day job. I was in coaching for like 10 years and now I'm in a, you know, a corporate job, bringing my coaching stuff into corporate. And I run a copy team and I work in the beauty industry, and, you know, we peddle neurotoxin to millennials. Not my, you know, not my proudest moment, but it is a fun job. So, but we're launching a whole filler line. So as you were talking and as you were presenting, I just started to type in like, tell me about all the fillers on the market, because I've done my own research, but I wanted to see how AI would do it differently. And it pulled up some stuff that I hadn't seen before. So I thought that was pretty cool.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, that is a great point, Shireen, of like, okay, in your role, because
Yeah.
we're talking about how can we create more, how can we continue to strive and create more equality with it as well? And it's like, okay, if you're bringing innovation to your company, that is where AI can truly help, right? It's not going to do the creating. That's one thing I'm always very like explicit about, is like it cannot replace human ingenuity, but it can really help you, you know, gain some edges when necessary.
You see, we have a raised hand from Sharon.
I didn't realize I was doing that. But so I.
Oh, there's two Sharons.
Oh, sorry.
Go for it. Others.
Yeah, other Sharon can go.
Okay, yeah. So I'll facilitate here. We're going to start with Sharon Regan. We're going to start with Sharon Regan, and then we're going to go Sharon Pierre-Louis. Let's go.
I mean, yeah, I just think that like I definitely want to take advantage of a consultation with you. I definitely think that it could help me in my current like full-time job, because I do work in digital marketing and like kind of struggle with like creative production, and just like I feel like it's like never ending, constantly like we need more, and content creation, that kind of thing. So I definitely want to like pick your brain on all that stuff. And then I'm also like kind of trying to start an e-commerce business. So I feel like, and I haven't like made as much progress as I would like because, you know, there's like just a lot that goes into that. So I feel like really probably our side consultation is going to be helpful for that. But this is all super helpful and interesting.
Good.
Awesome.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thanks for being here. I will say I am very, very passionate and excited about the potential with digital marketing because that's what I've been like, the most immersed in. So yeah, when it comes to things like, you know, Shireen spoke to automating your prospecting, using some of these incredible AI powered video editors that are saving people like 20 hours a week.
gosh.
It's insane.
Yeah, I can't wait to learn more.
I'll be excited to talk to you, Sharon.
Kalika, will you put what your like link or however they can basically do their consultation with you in the chat?
Definitely.
And then we're gonna go to Sharon Pierre-Louis, and then Lisa, I saw your question in the chat, and I'll answer that after we do Sharon's.
I'll let her put it in the chat first. Let me know whenever you're ready. Looks like you're ready.
No, go. No, you
Yeah,
share.
I'm ready.
Perfect. Okay. First of all, thank you so much for this presentation. It is very helpful and timely because I don't know what I don't know. And that's why I'm excited about the questionnaire because that is helping me to actually zero in on what I need. And I'm also starting up this particular business in which it is a new place for me that I'm like wondering where AI can help. It is ChatGPT has been very helpful, have saved me hours and hours of time and weeks of time. So within knowing that, I just want to be able to get ahead with that. So I will also want to, sit down with you because I need a little bit of hand holding, I feel, for this type of process. So
Yeah.
looking to it and also the whole marketing situation as well.
Awesome. Awesome, Sharon. Well, I'll be looking forward to that as well.
Yes, really quickly, I do have a question. So when it comes to marketing, like when it comes time for me to launch my product and wanting to market it out there, that's what digital marketing is about? Is that, because I really have no idea that whole world.
Yeah. So, coming up with what your sort of sales process and sales funnel actually looks like, right? Because your goal is to get your product or service in front of as many people as you can strategically, right? So you're not just spinning your wheels. But then you want to move those people through the process, which if you conceptualize it as a funnel, you're trying to get as many people in the top as you can. And then you're building little like mini bridges that they're going to cross as they learn to know, like, and trust you or know, like, and trust your product. So digital marketing is kind of the like, how do we leverage websites and, all the digital tools that are available to you to convert more people into clients or to sell more products. So that's digital marketing in a nutshell.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm excited. I will just say too, I think that's one of the things about this that inspires me and is that I'm most passionate about is I can so relate to the overwhelm that it almost creates like analysis paralysis, right? Because there are truly so many directions that you can go, whether that's with your leveraging AI tools or digital marketing in general, that my main goal and like what my purpose is like, I want to help guide people so they waste less time on that, like, oh my gosh, there's so much candy in this candy store. Like, how am I ever going to pick, right? And how do I know what is the most impactful thing for me to pick off the shelf? So that's a common experience.
Yeah. So Kalika, Lisa had a question about how I use Expandy on LinkedIn to attract speaking gigs. So
yes, so Expandy is incredible. It's an AI tool, expandy.io, and I think it's on the guide for if you're doing a lot of prospecting, things like that. But it connects to your LinkedIn account, and you have a couple of different options with Expandy. You can just do a general search. Like if you were to jump on LinkedIn and search for coaches and consultants, right? LinkedIn's going to use its algorithm to find people first that are in your local area, right? So the algorithm based is a little bit more potentially skewed. The other option is that you can use Sales Navigator, which is you have all the parameters at your fingertips. So you can drill into the type of person that you're looking to connect with, right? So some of this requires some clarity on the front end, which is something I love to coach around, is like, well, how do we get really clear on who that person is so that we can create the right list to plug into the AI tool? So that's one piece. But what it does, there's many different campaigns and things you can set up, but it will act on your behalf. So it will be on LinkedIn and it will be sending connection requests for you, right? And you specify what types of, or who are the people you're going to message. You can also set it up to invite certain people to a LinkedIn event, which is kind of cool. You can have it send event invites to your existing connections. You can even set up a more like robust style of a campaign where it'll send a connection request and it'll wait 2 days. If they connected with you, it'll send a message and you can specify what the message is you want it to say, like, hey, so-and-so, thanks so much for connecting. I see that you're a digital marketing expert, whatever, right? Whatever your message is. And then you can continue to build that out from there. So it's just like a wild way to achieve something, to Shireen's point, that nobody loves doing, right? Like nobody loves prospecting on LinkedIn. It's like, get this off my plate as quickly as possible.
Yes.
So Sales Navigator, you'll actually sign up for Sales Nav via LinkedIn. It's connected to your LinkedIn account. So I think when you're on LinkedIn, they're always trying to sell it to you. So it should be pretty easy to find. But you can search Sales Navigator. It's $99 a month for Sales Nav. But the good news is what we've done is like, you can buy a month or you can sign up for a month and get the list that you need and plug it into Expandy. And then you can cancel your Sales Nav with LinkedIn, because I work with a lot of solopreneurs and it's like, we got to save money however we can and do this as efficiently as possible. So
yeah. Any other questions? We have 8 minutes left. While we're waiting for more questions to come, Katie, let's go.
Miss Kalika, one thing I'm thinking about is lead generation. So the business I'm starting, I think is going to I'm going to reach people through networking, people being like, I came to her studio, had this amazing experience, but also like trying to attract people to know that I exist, or, maybe in Sharon's example, her product exists when she launched it. Like, are there tools aside from LinkedIn that can help do something similar, right? Like lead generation, attracting the right demographic, and creating kind of social media campaigns, and any suggestion there?
Absolutely. Yes, this is something I've gone real deep into the weeds on. I will say this is where the whole idea of the snowflake analogy came from for me, is because what your marketing strategy looks like is so individual to your business, your strengths, your ideal client, that it does require, like, I think a little bit of clarity or coaching in the early stages to kind of be able to hone in on what the strategy is so that you can execute using these tools. But yeah, I would say there's billion different ways that you could leverage, depending on, like, are you planning to do webinars, right? Are you planning to do webinars to attract people to your events, right? And how, just kind of like what your funnel looks like will help you zero in on which tools you're going to get the most like momentum out of. Hopefully that was clear of an answer. I felt like I kind of just
Amazing. Thank you, Kalika. This was super incredible. I hope you can see my fireworks. Yeah, I mean, I love what you shared with us today. I love how many possibilities it opens for all of us women as we are dreaming, doing, leading all day, every day. I really do hope for everyone who's here that this has been incredibly impactful. Feel free to grab all those links, and yeah, Kalika just put her email in there. You could just email her directly. You could literally schedule directly with her from the link she put, kalikazarek.com/AI. So do all the things. And then I'll really quick tell you what this community is. This is the Revolutionary Women community based off my book, where I really want to support women in coming together and empowering one another. We meet twice a month, just like we did today for 50 minutes. It isn't usually presentation style like this. It's only the quarterly event where we feature one member where it's presentation style like this and opened up to the public. But it is sort of my signature coaching program. It lasts a year long. We meet twice a month in group, as I said, and there is a kickoff session with me, like an executive coaching session in the beginning where we set your program goals. So like your goals for the year. And then you do an assessment. I am certified in administering an assessment that is recommended by Forbes as one of the top assessments every leader should take. We look at those results, where you're at, like what lens you lead through and how that does or doesn't serve your goals. After those two sort of one-on-one sessions, we go through the group stuff, we do all the things, and at the end of the year, you take the assessment again and we do a milestone debrief that kind of shows energetically in terms of how you lead, like what's the difference between your results at the beginning of the year and results at the end, and also where are you at in terms of your goals. So that is the program. For the year, it's 5,000 or 500 a month. So you kind of save a couple months if you do the pay in full. But if anyone joins before May 1st, we are honoring the old school beta pricing, where it is 300 a month or 3,000 for the year. So that's kind of what's going on right now. If anyone has questions about that, obviously you can reach out to me. I feel like I know you guys all personally. This was literally an invite only event, so you can just reach out to me on email or whatever if you're interested in kind of being a part of this group. Kalika, I'm grateful for you. Do you have any like sort of final words as we sign off, like what you'd like to leave the ladies with before we leave?
Yeah, I just want everyone to be empowered and know that, you know, it doesn't have to be scary. You can take small steps. You can leverage resources to get a better feel for what makes the most sense for you to start with. And like anything else, there's going to be a small learning curve. So start now, get comfortable, get traction. And I think the last thing I want to say is I'm just really grateful for this community. I feel like it's been such a catalyst for me in like going off on my own and feeling supported and continually like held. So I'm just really grateful for Shireen and for all the ladies here.
Yeah. Amazing. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you all.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.